Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and one of my favorite things to talk about is Tesla. Not just Nikola Tesla, but the company Tesla and what Elon Musk is up to, because while, I'm not saying I'm like a huge fan of Elon Musk or anything, I find his trolling and his marketing strategy to be quite genius, really. And we recently went into, after the so-called botched truck unveiling of the Cybertruck by Elon Musk for Tesla back in November, I noticed that I thought that was probably one of the greatest marketing stunts ever. And I mean, the so-called bulletproof windows being smashed on the stage and everyone freaking out, and then sales skyrocketing. Last time I checked, I think it was about 280,000 pre-sales of the Tesla truck have been sold. I think that it's interesting what we're seeing, as far as the market goes versus what the mainstream media claimed. I'm going to go into that and we're going to break it down better in a moment. But anyway, as a Zero Hedge article says, Tesla is now bigger than Daimler, BMW, GM, and Ford, and is about to catch up to the world's largest automaker. And as it says, with Tesla stock rising by $200 in 3 months and more than doubling from its summer lows to hit a new all-time high of $433 and sporting a record market cap of $78 billion, it's time for a quick sanity check. At $433 a share, Tesla's market cap is now $77.8 billion. This makes it bigger than OEM giants Hyundai, $22 billion, Ford, $37 billion, General Motors, $52 billion, BMW, $52 billion, and Daimler, $60 billion. Said otherwise, Tesla, which sold 350,000 cars in the past 12 months, is now bigger than Hyundai, which sold 4.6 million cars in 2018, and General Motors, which sold 3 million cars last year combined. I do want to note quickly that this is the way that the world is going in, and isn't it interesting that it's doing better, technically speaking, than the companies that got bailed out? I mean, does anyone kind of see an interesting story there that, these companies that got bailed out with extorted tax dollars are not doing as well as the far more prevalent, far more new age, I guess you could say, technology of Tesla? I honestly believe that Tesla is just following the path towards the future because we know that we're going in this direction. It's not that they made as many sales. It's more that they have more of a bullish future ahead of them because obviously electric cars are getting far and beyond way better than they ever were to begin with. Regardless of how the electricity is generated, it's not as much about the environment. It's about virtue signaling and efficiency. So anyway, getting back into the article here, it says, in fact, there is now just one OEM that's bigger than Tesla. Germany's car-making giant Volkswagen, which employs roughly 270,000 workers in Germany alone, and which recently overtook Toyota as the world's largest automaker in terms of sales. So the good old Hitler's auto company is still doing great, especially by hippies. A lot of hippies own BMW or own Volkswagens. Just saying. I actually kind of always liked Volkswagen, so that's not really a bash, but I'm just messing around. Anyway, as it continues here, it says, so how did Tesla eclipse OEMs, which combined have sold about 20 times more cars between them? The answer remains simple. As S3's Ihor Rusanowski points out, despite the recent massive short squeeze, Tesla still remains the world's most short automaker, with a couple of tiny exceptions such as BYD, Aston Martin, and NIO. And as such, what we are seeing now is slow motion replica of the short squeeze that briefly made Volkswagen the world's most valuable company in 2008, if only for a few hours. I remember that well. Carrying on here, and you can see that list by auto manufacturing sector, the WW auto manufacturing sector. Anyway, as it continues here, it says, as such, the question is, when will the positive feedback loop of shorts covering, inspiring further bullishness, a more optimistic narrative, higher prices, and even more short covering finally stop? Perhaps if more investors actually did some more sanity checks, such as this one, the answer will come sooner rather than later. Though I do want to note that, and people have been giving a crap, I actually found the Tesla truck, the Cybertruck, to be kind of awesome. I don't know. It's I understand why people think it looks dumb, but I honestly think it's kind of cool. I don't know. It's cool that there's some creation, some artistic takes on vehicles that aren't the same conformist ideas that we've seen for years. Is like, so everyone says everyone's crazy when they break outside the box a little bit. Now, a lot of people may say it's ugly. Sure, fine, you're allowed that opinion. But with that said, a lot of cars were considered ugly. I mean, the original car in general was thought to be ugly, and buggy manufacturers were like, what is this crap? It's like this thing blowing black smoke and bouncing off the ground and everything. And when the cars first came out, horses were outrunning them. But nonetheless, we know what happened next, and the future definitely moves in one direction only, and that is to innovate, no matter how much a government might restrict it. But with that said, carrying on, I do want to note that this is a very affordable truck. That's another thing. They're creating something that's innovative that your average person can possibly buy, if not firsthand, secondhand. As this article shows by ARS Technica, a Cybertruck goes on sale for $10,800 in Russia. In case you can't wait for Tesla to put it into production. Now, it looks ridiculous. This isn't obviously for your average person to drive down the street yet, because the production, it goes on sale really in 2021. But this is one of the prototypes, and you have to be followed around by one of their chase cars. But I thought it was funny, worth pointing out. But most notably, I think that there is a lot of competition in this market that they're going to have to be looking very closely at soon, and something that I really think is going to start building up a lot of momentum is the electric car rivals, which it's hard to really rival Tesla at this point, but it's no doubt going to happen, and we're going to see a lot of them rise up in the next few years. As this Business Insider article says, watch the Tesla Cybertruck's closest rival execute full 360-degree turns from a standstill. Now, I think a lot of people would say that's a nicer looking truck to begin with, but does it drive as well? And as the main bullet points here say, Rivian, the electric truck company, set to begin production of its R1T pickup and R1S SUV, posted a video of the upcoming R1T performing 360-degree turns from a standstill. Quad motor tank turn, as the company calls it, will be available on both the R1T and the R1S. Rivian is one of the most anticipated electric vehicle brands since Tesla. It has pulled down investments from Amazon and Ford, among others, including a recent $1.3 billion infusion led by T. Rowe Price. Wait, Ford has invested in it? Well, I wonder why. They're trying to beat out the number one competition. But anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting. There's a lot of innovation happening, and not enough, honestly, but there's definitely a lot of it. And people get so weird when they see something new come up on the horizon that's different from, previous old guard kind of ideas. I mean, how long have we stayed with the same looking vehicles, and how long are we going to stay with the same looking vehicles before some companies realize, oh, doing something crazy might just work? I mean, I think the last major one that I really saw was a PT Cruiser, but the PT Cruiser is not a very good vehicle at all, and it looks ugly as hell. I think most people would agree to that. But with that said, it was something different that came about, and it led to a lot of sales. We saw the Cube get a lot of sales based on its different kind of look. A lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it. But we're going to see that continue. There's not much anticipation in the in the car or truck or vehicle world. Especially over the last 10 years, it's been kind of boring. That's just my opinion. But to see this move in the direction towards, electric vehicles, I think is interesting. And again, it's not about the environment at all. Honestly, most people that are buying it don't care about that either. It's actually just about the efficiency, the money you can save overall, the idea of some of these trucks or vehicles going 300 to 400 to 500 miles even without having to recharge, and the fast recharging and the efficiency of finding chargers wherever you go, and you're starting to see them in the countryside in the middle of nowhere for Tesla. I think that says all you need to know about the direction the world's going in. You either join it or you run away scared, and it's going to happen anyway, and you end up with the bad end of the stick. I mean, I think it's interesting that we are seeing this kind of resistance happening in a lot of ways. We see that with blockchain, for example. They say, well, the government's going to create blockchain and enslave humanity. And it's like, yeah, of course they are, but in the same way, we could develop it instead of being scared of it and make it better for all of us so that they can't enslave us. I mean, it can go both ways. There's good and evil. I mean, and there always has been just good and evil. You could use blockchain, for example, to enslave humanity, but you could also utilize it if decentralized to overthrow that which enslaves humanity, which is a centralized craziness that they're pushing on us. And in the same way, they're like, well, what about artificial intelligence? Yeah, it's very scary what they're doing with it and how they're going to develop it and how seriously detrimental that could be to all of our safety. But what are we doing about it? Running away? Or are we going to develop something better to compete against it? I think tyranny comes under the guise of convenience. Popularity comes under the guise of convenience. Everything comes under the guise of convenience. That's how it takes hold. So create something convenient, build towards the future rather than running away from the fact that we are seeing times change. And there's nothing we can do about that other than to develop in the way that we want to see the world. Be the change you wish to see. It's the oldest saying ever, and it makes sense more today than ever before. So I'm excited to see what comes next with Tesla. I think the marketing stunts are hilarious. I'm not here to say or judge whether Elon Musk is a good person or not, because obviously they did get huge grants and contracts from the government, which I'm not okay with. But with that said, the marketing strategies, pretty awesome. I've been enjoying the news stories, and I love watching people in the mainstream media lose their minds every time Elon Musk does or says anything. So anyway, I appreciate everyone joining us today. Type in the comments Cybertruck 2020. That's my survey for today. Type in the comments Cybertruck 2020. I'm trying to do surveys here at WHAM to see how many people are actually watching to the end, because we get so many negative comments within 5 or 10 seconds of posting a video in a time frame that's not possible for people to even click on a video, never mind comment a long comment on. So make sure to press like, make sure to comment below Cybertruck 2020 so we know you watch to the end, and it also helps the algorithm. So anyway, we'll be back at you guys with much more. We're being demonetized and censored and shadow banned to death here at WHAM, as you can see from our viewership. So anything you guys can do to help out, including checking out our Teespring store, checking us out on float.app, flote.app, anything you guys can do, we truly appreciate it. We're kind of at the end of our line here, and we could use anything, any help we can get to stay alive, as independent media is threatened by the establishment and the powers that be, trying to stifle us and stop us from bringing you content on a day-to-day basis. Anyway, appreciate everyone joining. Also check out Patreon, GoFundMe, Subscribestar. Until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Like what you see here at WHAM, don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We cannot do it without you guys. Every donation is extremely appreciated, as we're getting incredibly shadow banned. We've lost 80% of our audience since January of 2019 and counting. They are ripping us apart here on YouTube, and the only thing we could do in the meantime as we prepare for the next big step is to ask for help from the viewers that support our free information that we try to post on a daily basis. You can also find us on Subscribestar, where just $1 a month, that's all it takes, $1 a month is all it takes to truly make a huge difference. If everyone gave $1 a month, it would change everything for independent media, and we could win this information war, and we can defeat the mainstream medias eventually. And of course, on Subscribestar, we post subscriber-only content that you'll only see on Subscribestar. So make sure to pledge there, become a patron. That makes a huge difference, guys. And also, don't forget to check out our Bitcoin address below in the comments and description, as well as on the screen for you to scan, if you please. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on the alternatives. We will likely be deleted by YouTube in the next 2 years. It's already happening on a vast scale, so make sure to find us on float.app, that's flote.app, at Josh Sigurdson, as well as at Wham, W-A-M. Float.app is replacing every social media, and I mean, it's just incredible the opportunities it provides for not just creators, but for the average person who wants to get away from these nannies telling them what they can or cannot see. They plan to replace Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Tumblr, Reddit, and Patreon. You could subscribe to us on Float and pledge with cryptocurrency. It's really innovative. We are also on BitChute at World Alternative Media, as well as so many others, Minds, PocketNet. You can find us at World Alternative Media on Instagram. There's many options. And finally, don't forget to join us at Anarchapulco 2020, the famous event, the best Liberty event known to mankind, other than perhaps Anarcho Vegas 2020. There are two major events coming up that we are extremely excited about, and you can use promo code WHAM, that's W-A-M, and save 10% on your tickets to these legendary conferences. There's so many amazing people speaking there. You won't want to miss it. So make sure to support in any way you can, even if it's just sharing our videos, pressing like, pressing to be notified. Anything helps, folks. You are the change you wish to see. Thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.
Thank you.